Hamou wandered the misty alleys of New Victoria, a city where futuristic skyscrapers loomed over cobblestone streets. He was a curious soul, always keen to explore the hidden nooks and crannies of the metropolis. As he meandered through an obscure alley, Hamou's eye caught the glint of metal. Lying among discarded gadgets was a strange device that looked remarkably like a wristwatch. Intrigued, he picked it up and examined its intricate design and glowing face. It almost seemed to pulse with energy, as if it was waiting for someone special to find it. Hamou hesitated but then decided to strap the device onto his wrist. Almost instantly, a surge of power coursed through his body. He felt his muscles strengthen, his senses sharpen, and his mind expand. Hamou looked down at his hands and saw a faint, luminous aura surrounding them. In a state of astonished excitement, he realized that the device had bestowed upon him superhuman abilities. As Hamou tried to wrap his head around this newfound power, he heard footsteps and harsh whispers echoing down the alley. He turned to see a shadowy group of figures approaching. These were no ordinary passers-by, they were the city's notorious villains, known for their relentless pursuit of powerful artifacts. Their leader, a menacing figure clad in black armor, pointed directly at the device on Hamou's wrist. "Hand it over," the leader demanded, "or face the consequences." Without thinking, Hamou tapped into his newly acquired powers and prepared for combat. A fierce battle ensued, filled with dazzling displays of strength and agility. Hamou fought valiantly, but the villains were experienced and resourceful. Just as it seemed that the villains might overpower him, a flash of light appeared above. From the sky descended 3 other superheroes, each with their unique abilities. Phoenix, with her fiery wings and commanding presence, took to the air. Silverblade, with his unmatched speed and razor-sharp weapons, darted through the battlefield. And Echo, with his ability to manipulate sound waves, created barriers and disrupted the villains' attacks. The combined forces of Hamou and the other superheroes turned the tide of the battle. Together, they managed to fend off the villains, who retreated with promises of returning for the device. Breathing heavily but unscathed, Hamou looked at his newfound allies. "Welcome to the team," Phoenix said with a smile. "Your journey as a superhero has just begun." And with that, Hamou realized that this strange device had not only given him powers but had also connected him to a larger world of heroes and dangers. With the battle won but the war far from over, Hamou knew his adventures were only beginning. In the hidden depths of an abandoned warehouse, the heroes gathered at their secret headquarters. Hamou, a brilliant but humble inventor, looked around at his team with determination. Shelley, a tech-savvy hacker, adjusted her goggles, while Leo, the muscle of the group, cracked his knuckles in anticipation. A holographic map of Dr. Zone's highly secure laboratory illuminated the room, showing every intricate detail they needed to execute their mission. Hamou briefed the team on their objective, to infiltrate Dr. Zone's lair and destroy the cloning device that was not only unethical but posed a threat to all humanity. As the gravity of their mission sank in, the team nodded in unison, ready to face the peril ahead. Under the cloak of night, they made their way to Dr. Zone's laboratory, a high-tech fortress brimming with surveillance and automated defenses. Shelley worked her magic, disabling the security systems one by one. They moved stealthily through the compound, following Hamou's meticulously planned route. Just as they reached the heart of the lab, an alarm blared. Dr. Zone had set a trap, and the doors slammed shut, sealing them inside with red flashing lights casting an ominous glow. Panic threatened to set in, but Hamou remained resolute. He quickly scanned the room, formulating an escape plan. Noticing the ventilation system, he directed Leo to rip open the nearest vent cover. Crawling through the narrow ducts, the team moved swiftly, but it wasn't long before they heard the clanking of robotic guards in pursuit. They crawled faster, the sound of mechanical footsteps growing louder. Bursting out into a storage room, they found themselves face to face with the cloning device. Shelley immediately began hacking into its systems, while Hamou and Leo set up explosives around it. With only seconds to spare, they ignited the charges and sprinted for cover. The explosion was deafening, and the lab machinery shuddered and toppled. Emerging from the wreckage, the team shared a victorious grin. Back at their headquarters, the heroes celebrated their triumph. The cloning device was no more, and Dr. Zone's plans had been thwarted. Hamou raised his glass for a toast, knowing they had won this battle but that more challenges were yet to come. As they enjoyed this fleeting moment of peace, Hamou couldn't help but wonder what trials awaited them in the future. But for now, they basked in the glory of a mission accomplished. Stay tuned for the next episode, The Greatest Challenge. Hamou stood in the main control room of the Stellar Voyager, a state-of-the-art spaceship that housed his team of extraordinary heroes. The day seemed like any other until a strange holographic message flickered into existence. It was a message from the future, a dire warning. The sender, an older version of Hamou himself, revealed that an entity known as the Hamou and his team of extraordinary heroes emerged from the swirling vortex of time into a present that was unraveling before their eyes. The once stable reality now fluctuated wildly, colors blending into one another, structures appearing and disappearing. Time itself seemed to be collapsing, and every second was critical. Without a moment's hesitation, Hamou rallied his team. "We need to stabilize the timeline. Everyone, use your powers," he commanded. Alara, with her ability to manipulate matter, began reconstructing the disintegrating buildings around them. Kale, whose power allowed him to control energy, focused on creating a force field to slow down the chaotic distortions. Mira, with her control over nature, set about calming the turbulent weather conditions that were adding to the destruction. As they worked tirelessly, Hamou sensed a dark presence growing stronger, coalescing at the heart of the temporal chaos. It was the changing shadow, an entity born from the very essence of disrupted time, feeding on the chaos and growing more powerful with each passing moment. The team knew that to save their world, they had to confront this menace head-on. Hamou led the charge, diving into the epicenter of the temporal storm. The changing shadow loomed over them, a shifting mass of darkness and light, constantly morphing and adapting. Its voice echoed through their minds, "You cannot defeat me. I am time itself, always changing, always evolving." Unshaken, Hamou responded, "We are the guardians of time, and we will restore balance." The battle that ensued was fierce and relentless.